Hello, my name is Frans Groeleker and I want to share with you something I discovered walking around with my Radiacode. And it's concerning archaeology. Now that might sound somewhat strange since the Radiacode device is developed to pick up radiation, gamma radiation to be precise. And it's a great little machine to check out the environment for radiation sources. I see people walking around uranium-rich areas with natural uranium deposits or in old uranium mines. And I saw some YouTube stuff about people snooping around in second-hand shops looking for uranium glass and stuff like this. Now, anyway, how did I get to archaeology with my Radiacode? Well, first, I'm a history buff, and being interested about anything even faintly historical, and the fact that I live in an area completely devoid of natural occurring radiation sources. No rocks, nothing. So it's kind of pointless looking for that over here. Still, it's interesting to see that towns have slightly higher levels of radiation, and walking around a town gives you radiation hotspots. Quotation marks. It's not really hot at these spots, but they give higher readings, and you got lower readings if you walk around town. And here is this is my hometown, and here I bike around in my town Arnhem in the Netherlands. So one day I was driving my bike out of town into a nice area next to the river, kind of a place where they let nature have its course. And in this area you can find a spot where once a Roman castellum stood, guarding the limes, here on the most northern part of the Rhine River, marking the border of the Roman Empire. Here it is. And here you can see me driving around and out of town. Town is here. And then I stepped off my bike to walk into this castellum site, walked around a bit, got on my bike and went back home again. Now here it all started. Now looking at the trail and the glowing up red in the castellum area, I mean, okay, the town is more radioactive, but why is this old archaeological site? I mean, what's going on here? So I did some more walks over this same castellum terrain, and again I see higher readings on my Radiacode. What's going on here? Well, next thing I did was to get more information about this castellum and the terrain it stood on. And I found stuff online about the dig in 1999 and with references to a report made by a company called Raab. I found this report in a local library, and this gave me some clues about the size of this Roman terrain and why a large part of this historical terrain had vanished. It was flushed away by the river. Now, according to this report, the size of this historical Roman terrain corresponded nicely with my Radiacode readings. But what did I discover here? I mean, higher gamma readings of an area with human habitation over a longer period. I mean, the castellum stood here roughly for around 400 years. But then then they forgot about the place for another 1,500 years before it was rediscovered. So maybe these higher gamma readings because of the work of the archaeologists or people walking around visiting the site. I mean, I needed some more proof here. And that was quite easy because there are two more historical sites nearby. I mean, both sides are not really visible. You have to know where to look. Here on the Google map you can see the different spots. So first I went for this Castle Meinerswijk. It's a few hundred meters northeast of the Roman castellum. And by this time I had read about this house or castle, and the oldest traces of this place go back to 1294. Where they talk about a Curtis, which is a bigger farmhouse. And then there is some stuff around 1500 where we are sure there was a castle. And here is a map of 1653. I'll go back to this map later. Here's a drawing of the place around 1750. And it was finally torn down in 1853. That's on the wiki page, Castle minus Wijk. And the wiki page ends like this. The castle site, as of 2023, is located in a nature reserve and is visible in the landscape as a slight elevation. Great. This is what I need for my little Radiacode quests. Castle, hundreds of years of habitation, now totally gone. And it's gone all right. I mean, there's really not much to see. It's just a field slightly higher than the field next to it. And you can really see it from, and you cannot see it from the little road next to it. Now, we have a great elevation map of the Netherlands, or elevation viewer of the whole country. So let's have a look here. So this is the elevation map. A look from above from Google. And here is the map from 1653. Aha. Now that's nice. So I walked the place with my Radiacode in my pocket. And I filmed it from this side. I walked up to the terrain. I couldn't walk up there. The fence with barbed wire was blocked. So I went around to the other side of the terrain where I could enter a bit more easily. And in the meantime, the Radiacode nicely followed my tracks, as you can see here. So here you can see where I walked first, and I was blocked by the barbed wire. So then I walked around and entered the side of the castle, and straight away, clear readings. Elevated radiation. Great. But not enough. I needed a third side. I want to get more evidence for my idea, and there is another great place in this area. But it's on the other side of the river. You can see the sites. Here's the other side of the river, and it's called Rosande. Well, the entire area of the Rosande polder. And there used to be a castle here as well. Castle Rosande, or Huis Rosande. 14th century, earliest mentions in 1313. And this castle was often in the crossfire of wars. Destroyed, rebuilt, and then it was burned down, rebuilt again. French troops destroyed the castle in 1672 for the last time. And then the building was demolished after that. Now, the contour of these castles are still recognizable in the landscape. This one you can see here, little hilly. Very clear on the elevation map. And, now, looking at that elevation map, there was another elevation of interest, a bit to the left here. It's in the middle of this Rosande polder. So, anyway, for a day, I did a walk with my Radiacode over the castle ground and crossing to this other elevated area. Now look at that, clear readings on the castle grounds and clear readings on the elevated part of the polder. But what is it? Good, I did an online search about this Rosande polder, and I found out why I got this red hot reading with the Radiacode. I mean, this area used to be a rubbish dump till the 1960s. Aha. So what did I discover here? Areas of human habitation, like cities, give higher radiation readings than untouched natural areas, at least in my region of the planet. I found 3 sites where there was prolonged human habitation in the past, but not anymore. On the surface, all the buildings are gone. We see just fields, shrubbery, trees. When I walk these 3 sites, my Radiacode clearly shows higher radiation levels, so I see a strong correlation here. Where people live and die for a longer period, radiation levels go up. And the rubbish dump was actually a good example of concentrated habitational crap, giving higher readings as well. Just more recent rubbish. Walking around with Radiacode over fields or in forests might give the amateur archaeologist a tool for discovering forgotten sites of castles, villages, monasteries. So is it an interesting tool for the amateur archaeologist toolkit? I think so. Having a totally affordable device that is able to track stuff underground sounds like a game changer to me. And mind you, I did no fancy stuff at all with the Radiacode. I just had it in my pocket when I was walking around and driving around on my bike. Anyway, I've put this now on YouTube to share this with other people who might want to try this use of the Radiacode themselves. And if somebody does, please let me know. Let's dig into the past with Radiacode.